Hey everybody, we have a new sponsor and a special deal for our listeners of Karen Isn't Always Right. If you have any photos or documents that you need to scan, or videotapes, audio tapes, or film reels that you need to import, you should check out avgearguy.com. If you mention the name Karen Isn't Always Right when you order, you're going to get 5% off, and a portion of your order is going to help support the podcast Karen Isn't Always Right. All of those formats degrade over time and are sitting ducks in the case of fire or theft. Why not convert it all to digital? All your memories can be stored safely on the cloud or even a hard drive that fits in your pocket. AV Gear Guy has over 30 years of experience with all kinds of media, and they can accept orders from anywhere in the U.S. Don't forget to mention the name of Karen Isn't Always Right and get 5% off. For more details and to book, visit their website at avgearguy.com. That's avgearguy.com. Hey everybody, Christopher with Karen Isn't Always Right here. Switching things up, no intro today because we're going straight into it because you're stuck with just me today. Quick update on kind of what's going on in my world. Theaters are still closed, so I've made the most of my time in a janitorial capacity. More of a caretaker right now than a leader or a general manager. I've pressure washed just about anything and everything that I could possibly pressure wash inside a theater. I've gone through 4 different hoses. I've laid an epoxy floor. I've cleaned 10 restrooms. I've cleaned more trash cans than I would ever care to count. I've done a lot. It's been a very productive couple months. But I do think it's going to be winding down here pretty soon. We've started getting updates on reopening processes, things like that. I'm on a team that's developing an opening checklist, so that's loads of fun. Shout out to Dan McNally for leading Project Phoenix. And so good stuff. I am excited to get back to it and actually work with other people. And the only thing I think I'm going to miss is I have rather enjoyed my schedule recently of working, just during the day, spending some more time with my wife when my kids are around, spending some time with them. But I'm exhausted all of the time. I've lost 13 pounds since all this started. Looking trim, growing out the beard, growing out the hair. So all kinds of fun stuff. So I was told recently that I looked like Wolverine, and if anybody actually wants to see a picture of it, let me know and I'll put it on the webpage. Alright, so that being said, I kind of wanted to switch things up today since it's just me, and something's kind of been on my mind a little bit. I recently became a member of a Facebook page called No Karen, and I thought it was pretty interesting, and there's lots of cool memes and funny stuff on there. And so I thought what I'd do today is we're just going to kind of go through some of the posts, and some I think are really funny, and some I think are insightful, and then some of them as I would dive into the comments, which I make the mistake of doing fairly regularly with all kinds of stuff, usually political. Things get weird when you go into those rabbit holes. And one of the things I also found on this is that somehow people still make things political even on these Karen posts, which I guess in today's day and age and current political climate can be hard to avoid, but yet people choose not to try and avoid it. And then I also just noticed just how fucking nasty people can be to each other. And look, if you're one of those people who mouths off to other people on social media, fucking stop doing that, man. It's so easy for people to sit behind a keyboard and clickety-clack and, just mouth off and call people assholes or, tell them to go fuck themselves and stuff like that. And it's like, why don't you sit there and think about the fact, would I say that to their face in person? Without fear of getting hit in the face. Because if you can't say that, then maybe you just shouldn't say it at all. I don't know. It's the whole... I realize that I have this sort of, idealistic Pollyanna view on life and how things should be, but it's so aggravating to see just how nasty people can be. Anyway, done complaining about that. So let's dive into some of these comments. So again, if anybody wants to look at this page, it's no comma space Karen, and the K and the R and the N and the Karen are all capitalized. I don't know if that matters when you search for it. Alas, I'm telling you anyway. And so a little shout out to this No Karen page. They have 128,000 members, so clearly they're very, very popular. So they don't exactly need me plugging them, but I thought I'd do it anyway because I find the page fairly entertaining. Unlike anybody who's a member of the Quarantine Beer Chugs page, those guys can go suck it. But that's a story for another day. So interestingly enough, I'm looking at this page and I'm scrolling through, and the very first post I come across is from someone with my last name. So let's just see what it says. I haven't perused this prior to starting this podcast, so let's get started. So Alexander Matthew Fry posted, and she's a new member, or he. Can't tell. Anyway, doesn't matter. My Karen experience today was with my own mother. I live at home with my younger brother, 16, and my mom, I'm 21. And I bought this 2DS for my 16th birthday with my own money for my first job because my parents had gotten my brother a 3DS, which is the setup up, and they didn't want me to get one, so I went out and got this myself. $90, my whole paycheck, since I only work 2 days a week, and fast forward 5 fucking years later, was in great shape last time I used it 4 months ago, lost it, and just now found it in my brother's room. This is one hell of a run-on sentence, Alexander, just saying. Frustrated, obviously, I walked into my mom's room and I said, quote, "Look at this shit." Here's the funny part. She looks at me and goes, quote, "It's not fun when people take your stuff and break it, huh?" End quote. A year ago, I was in a very bad car accident, which has left me with back injuries, and it was in her van, but I was hit by a drunk driver. She's literally telling me it's my fault her van broke, and I just need to suck it up about my stuff being broken. Yep, that's a Karen for you. Too bad her name starts with a G. So that got dark real fast. I wasn't expecting that. First of all, Alexander, if you ever happen to listen to this podcast, I'm very sorry for your accident, and that sucks. So I don't know. I guess I put the question out there: is mom being a Karen? Mom might be an asshole, but a Karen, I don't know. I think, as we've had these episodes, I think I'm on like my 30th one now. Karen is generally defined as sort of that just super unreasonable customer, and it's really kind of the idea or the concept or whatnot. And it's usually just in a customer service environment. It's not just because somebody's an asshole, regardless of whether that's a family member or just some person you run into on the street. I don't know. So let's dive into the comments, shall we? This has 1,100 comments, so let's see what's up. And people are very vocal on here. Let me scroll to the top. I really hate how when you click on the comments, it doesn't just take you to the top one. Bear with me, people. Come on. I don't want to lose you. Okay, I'm done scrolling. Okay, this person, I'm sorry for you. I'm sorry, none of that's fair to you. Someone else said, write that bitch off. They spelled right wrong. I'm one of those people. Gotta love abusive parents. All that sucks. I'm so sorry you have an abusive mother. Take your brother's 3DS as collateral and tell your mom to go fuck herself. Solid advice. Girl, yes, spread those wings and fly far, far away. It's a nice call out to Forrest Gump. Easy, hit your mom with your brother. Problem sort of solved. What a malignant. See you next Tuesday. I would have lost it, break some of her shit. Someone else, we saw your dirty delete, and then they posted a screenshot. Oh, okay. You both sound like Karens. Yes, because being a parent automatically makes you a good person, so it's okay to blame your child for something that wasn't their fault. And then somebody else commented, you liked your own comment, how embarrassing for you. I just loved watching these conversations happen. Sounds like my mother. Left that house the second I got a full-time job. I read your little story without looking at your name or pic, just letting you know you sound like a sissy ass little girl. Wow. Okay. Insane parents. Yeah, not cool at all. Looks like you do dabs, little teal and white ball. I say just smoke the bad vibes away and try to get. Okay. Great advice. Here we go. This comment section is exhausting. Sorry to hear about shitty self-absorbed family. Hopefully things will align for you to be able to achieve independence from them. See, I like that one. This one. Smack the fuck out of your brother for touching your shit, then slap your mom twice for being a bitch. Then, wait for it, move out of your mom's house unless you're in college. Yeah. I don't really condone the violence, but, maybe it's time to move out. I mean, really, if your mom's going to accuse you of causing whatever. Anyway, let's move on to a different one, shall we? If a guy is on a date with a woman, the woman should be the only one asking for appetizers and dessert. Men eat meals. Like, seriously, you can just taste some of whatever I ordered. And then there was a follow-up meme, a guy ordering dessert on a date is a red flag for me. That's a female thing. First of all, that's not even a Karen thing. And secondly, it just, I don't know. It all seems very sexist. So I clicked on the comments. There's like 50 comments. And now it's just flashing at me. Okay, here we go. If you guys are still with me, thanks for hanging in there. Like I said, we're gonna try this just to see how it goes. This is the same. Okay, we're not even going to do this one. So let's move on to something else. See, here's someone criticizing. Am I high or is this whole thing fucked from the caption? Okay, never mind. Okay, so here's a Karen moment, it looks like, just in skimming. In February, my service dog and I sat in a coffee shop getting work done for about an hour. He was still in a downstay against the wall, behaving well and out of everybody's way. I got up to order more coffee, and the barista, upon realizing he was there, the dog I assume, refused to serve us and told me I needed to leave. At this point, he's alerting to my low oxygen and retrieving my meds from my bag. As I pulled out my ADA card and recite federal laws she was breaking. This woman proceeds to show me a tattoo of a wheelchair on her arm. Quote, my mom was in a wheelchair for 30 years. I know what disabled is and you aren't it. It could bite and hurt someone, end quote. Like, okay, if I don't have, quote, it, and it's 2 years of training with me, I could die. Upside down face. The person behind me heard what is happening and brought me a coffee, and we stayed for another half hour so I could wait for my emergency meds to kick in and walk out without fainting. Obviously, a wheelchair is the only sign someone is disabled. Sorry, Karen. Thanks for defining the word for me. Interesting. It's very rare that you see the customer calling the place the Karen. But, So let's see what the comments say. I was torn between the care and anger reacts for this. Another one, this makes me so angry. Just because it's not visible doesn't mean it's not there. And anybody working, in customer service industry, obviously we all should be very aware of how, the service animal, whatever your service animal policies are. I mean, there are federal guidelines in place for that. Unfortunately, though, not to get off on a tangent, I do think a lot of people try to take advantage of that. Those laws and those policies because and then what ends up happening is it seems to make it very, very difficult for the people who have true disabilities, and I think that's really unfortunate. I'm sorry you had to go through that. That's the worst kind of Karen. Fuck that. I work in a coffee shop. This shouldn't be that hard for people to understand that a service dog is okay. Hate when people gatekeep other disabled people. I hope she steam burned her face. Jesus. If you tell me the place, I'll break in. Spelled break, B-R-A-K-E. I'm just saying, people, let's learn how to spell. And then hide a pound of shrimp in some sort of irretrievable place that we'll never find. I'm sorry that happened to you. Okay, that's creative. I sincerely hope you contact Starbucks and report this. I don't know that she actually said it was a Starbucks. Fuck being a Karen. She needs to be reprimanded. Imagine if you left and something had happened to you. Oh, they did clarify. Maybe not Starbucks, but you get my point. There's sub-comments. Nowhere does it say Starbucks. See, we all got ahead of ourselves. I read Starbucks because dumb shit always happens there. I was a barista for quite a while. That's 100% the truth. Weirdly enough, Starbucks in New York City seem to be super well versed in disability accessibility stuff. They're always super kind and ask if he wants a puppuccino. Good for you. Again, back to the thing. I also think it's a training thing sometimes. I think a lot of people just don't understand what the law is, and they don't understand. Maybe they don't read their procedures and guidelines and things like that. It's pretty clear in my own company's guidelines what you can and can't do, what you can ask, what you can't ask, things of that nature. So yeah, but again, I think there's just a lot of people out there that take advantage and lie, and then it makes people cynical, and I think that's really unfortunate. So let's move on to a different one. So here's one. Am I friends with a Karen? So you'll see a lot of posts in here where it's like, it'll say, am I the Karen, or am I friends with the Karen? Is my mom a Karen, or whatever? And to that, sometimes I say, if you have to ask, but let's see. Let's check it out, huh? All right, so am I friends with a Karen? I have a friend who called up Volkswagen Credit back in March to tell them that she was laid off due to COVID-19, which is true. I wanted to put her payments on hold. They told her that was fine. She'd been making all her payments on time, so they would temporarily defer them. Fast forward to yesterday, she discovered that VW had reported her to the credit bureaus for non-payment of her auto loan, and her credit score dropped by more than 70 points. She called them up and screamed, in all caps, and swore at them. A lot of expletives were used. They insisted it had been a mistake and they would fix it. She told them that they'd better, quote, because if they fucking don't, she will smear them all over social media. The real kicker to all of this is that just last week she was bragging to me that she was making a lot more on unemployment, thanks to Uncle Sam giving people an extra $600 a week, than she was when she was employed. She apparently has over $5,000 in savings now. Shaking my head. Let's see, Abby. I understand the situation. I get that. I'm like Abby's a fucking listener. I get the situation where if somebody jacks up your credit, I'd be pissed too. But to call up VW, and just start reaming them, swearing things. There's a way to approach this stuff. So in this particular situation, your friend, I think, is a Karen. There's no reason to start screaming expletives at anybody. And then, look, as an aside, if you're going to be smarmy about the fact that you make more now on unemployment than if you had a job, I think you can suck it a little bit, because I am not qualified for unemployment. I'm on half pay and half hours, and I'm working my ass off. And so it irritates me when I hear about the people who get to sit at home and not have to do anything and are actually making more money than me right now. But whatever. You do you. So let's see what the comments say, shall we? Jennifer says, definitely a Karen. Heather, no, they deserve it if they messed up her credit. Okay, two differing opinions. Jason says, I would say she went overboard in calling customer service and screaming and swearing as she did. The company was absolutely wrong, but a lot of people can't separate the frontline CSRs from the managers who make such destructive decisions. She could have addressed the issue without verbally abusing junior staff. Jason, damn it, man, I think you're absolutely right. This is the problem, I think, with a lot of Karens is, you talk to, let's say you come into a movie theater, something doesn't go your way, you start yelling and screaming at a concessionist. That's wrong. Look, if they screwed up, and even then, yelling and screaming at them isn't the right thing to do. But let's say it's for a policy issue. Let's say it's a lot of theaters have bag policies where you can't bring in a bag over a certain size, right? So, an usher didn't make up that policy, so it does no good to start screaming and yelling at an usher, and a manager didn't even make up that policy, so you're going to yell and scream. You're yelling and screaming at people that didn't create these policies. We're just tasked with enforcing them. Beyond that, maybe have some understanding as to why those policies were even enacted in the first place. I understand that there are things things from time to time that seem like bullshit, and it just seems like a waste of time for you to even have a policy. But I don't know. For the most part, I can't think of a whole lot of policies that movie theaters have that are stupid. Maybe a couple here and there. But I think we can all maybe get on board with the idea that in today's day and age, it might be wise to enact certain security measures. Just saying. But I really liked I thought Jason hit it right on the head with, yes, the company was wrong. And, obviously I'm complimenting Jason because he agrees with me. But anyway, moving on. Josh, if you have the money, pay your bills. Jesus, it's not a hard concept. Well, Josh, I think it was established that she didn't have the money because, actually, I stand corrected because it sounds like she's got a bunch of savings. So that's the other point that I didn't really think about until I started reading Josh's comment. Initially we're led to believe that she's not making any money because of COVID, so that's why she needs to delay payments. But then it turns out that she's got all this money. So I am the asshole for not really realizing that until now. So that makes her even more of a Karen, right? Because it's like, damn it, you've got all this money. So like Josh says, just pay your fucking bill, man. Ruining it for the rest of us, right? Like, I did need to defer because 3 weeks before all of this happened, we bought my daughter a car. Now, she was going to make all of the payments. It just happens to be under my name because she's only 17, or at the time she was 16. She works at a movie theater, not mine, but she does work in a movie theater, and so everything shuts down. So guess what? She loses her job. In addition to that, my pay gets cut in half. So the idea of having to make my car payment, my wife making her car payment, and then making my daughter's car payment was not appealing. And so we went and tried to defer car payments, and we were able to do so, thankfully. But that's because we have much less income. My daughter doesn't have a job, and I have much less income coming in. So Henry says, the unemployment payments piss me off. I worked 50 hours a week and was earning about $150 a week more than a relative currently on unemployment that now makes $250 a week more than me because of the payments they receive. Back on subject though, total Karen, especially since the person that she bitched at was most likely someone who had nothing to do with their situation other than being the poor soul that picked up the phone on the other end. Yep, indeed, Henry. That is pretty much what happens all the time. I can't tell you how many times as a manager I've picked up the phone when it's ringing only to start getting yelled at, and it's like, good Lord. I'm just trying to run a theater here. Kelsey, I don't know, I've been in a situation where my credit score is affected due to a bank no less, messing up a credit card transfer, and I didn't know until years later, and only for $15 too. I was so angry. Did she need to go to the extra length of screaming at them? No, that part for sure makes her a Karen. As for the unemployment, is it not taxed? I'm in Canada, and our unemployment insurance is taxed. I don't know, Kelsey. I don't get unemployment, so I don't know. I believe that is taxed, but I can't remember. Yeah, man, I gotta tell you, if somebody really, I've worked very, very hard of the past several years to rebuild I went through a divorce and it jacked up my credit. So I've worked very, very hard to get my credit score to where it is now, and if it was jacked up by someone else, I would be pissed. That being said, I think everybody needs to, not everybody, but a lot of people really need to work on their emotional intelligence. And most of those people being what qualifies as Karen. So let's check out another comment or two and then move on. Credit is a pretty important thing. People don't mess around with it, so I'd be pissed like that. However, the fact that she had the money to pay it isn't necessarily a Karen, but some type of name. Oh, Kristen, well played. All right, moving on. Here we go. Okay, so this is a tipping thing. So I see this come up a lot, the whole I don't tip, that kind of stuff. Or, obviously there's very, very heated opinions about this. So this is a snapshot of a handwritten note from the 17th of May, so just a few days ago. It says, "Dear waitress, thank you for tonight's friendly service. I cannot tip you because it injuries me as a customer, seeing I already paid for food, and it injures you as an employee because it allows your employer to cut your working wages drastically. Sorry for the inconvenience." Well, and then the comments, well, the comments from when they posted it, and just like that, I lost faith in humanity. And on the original post, boomer telling a waitress, emoji of a big middle finger, basically fuck you in the nicest way possible. So let's dive into the comments again. Karen, you could have just left, but instead you rubbed salt in the wound. Fuck you. Hey, Karen, way to be on their side. Kate, total dick move. Jason, oh thank goodness, she put the date up top. Only do this on the receipt. I'd bet it's fake. Hand that note in before you order. Yeah, good point. Nathan says, I mean, this is a uniquely American problem, which it is. My wife goes to Europe with some relative frequency, and it's just not a thing there. However, it's, we're in America, and that's the system right now. So, to leave a note, this is just my opinion, to leave a note like that, and basically, like what this other guy said, is just a big fuck you to the waitress. The waitress didn't create this system, and she or he is depending on that stuff. Now, I guess, a lot of people I see out there make the argument, well, then they should just go get a different job or whatever. But I don't know what to tell you. This is the system. But let's see. Nathan said this is a uniquely American problem. Jonathan jumps in. North America, and it's the same in Canada as well. Nathan, I was under the impression Canada paid its wait staff. They do pay, but just like in America, it's not enough. They get paid more than the American waiters, but still not enough. Thus the tipping. Comment back, but they do get minimum wage as a base, which is very different from the U.S. model, which dates back to Depression-era racism. Okay, they get below minimum wage, starting as $9, minimum of $14. Sorry, some places give $10 as a start. They legally can't pay less than minimum wage, so I would hope you would report it if you're working under minimum wage. On and on. Well, anyway, just thought that was interesting. What in the senior citizen, we're back into the main comments. What in the senior citizen hell did I just read? I don't think she understands how much servers regularly get paid. Did you go to Luby's? The fuck? Although this may be true, not tipping doesn't magically make their hourly wage higher. The server is now paying out of their pocket to serve your stupid ass. You're not helping the situation. You're an asshat, Karen. Go back to school to learn proper grammar. Just as a quick aside, they're criticizing their grammar, and yet they're spelling things wrong. I'm just saying. Come on. So in the comments under this one, some states allow businesses to cut down. Good Lord, that's not even in English. Okay, moving on. Do they actually practice and study to be a Karen? That's pretty funny. Who has the time and mentality to sit down and write these little nasty lectures? That's the thing I was kind of thinking about is, are they still sitting at this table and writing out this note? The server has still got to be kind of lingering about or walking by back and forth a little bit. Are they sort of surreptitiously trying to write out this letter? Whatever. The only perk to this would be a, quote, gift of money. Tipping is taxable and can be removed from payments. Gifts legally cannot be either until over $10,000 typically. Interesting. Okay, moving on. So this is something that I've noticed recently is on this page they like to ask questions. So here's one. What's the thing that would trigger your inner Karen? Mine has been people parking in the parents' parking lot without kids. Kind of pisses me off. Okay. So anytime I've seen people post something like this, I just kind of sit back, grab a cup of coffee, and wait for the fun comments to begin. Because usually a lot of these people just get torn apart. So let's see if this person does. Well, what in the hell is, quote, parents parking? Sounds like some lazy Karen bitched to their local government to get him some special Karen spots for her minivan. Then bitching about not getting a Karen spot makes you a mega Karen. I'm just saying. I posted a picture once of a mega Karen on Facebook if anybody wants to see her. So sub-comments from that. Thank you. I don't know why anyone thinks parents deserve special spots. Ultimate Karen level. I need to know where parent parking exists. I don't have kids, so it's not because I'm lazy. I'm nosy. Felt I needed to explain. Okay, whatever. So back into the main comments. My maid forgot to replenish one of my towels. I don't know what that means. Bad service at a restaurant because I spent a long... Oh, okay, gotcha. Where the question was... what sets off your inner Karen. So, bad service at a restaurant because I spent a long time working in the service industry. I agree with you there, Jen. I'm hypersensitive to terrible service, although I don't get all Karen-y. I pretty much just keep my comments to myself. I love throwing sodas in car windows when people are driving. Hate being called assholes, so I become one. Wow. Okay, E. Joseph Henderson. Jacob, another comment on the parents parking. There's parents parking now? For fuck's sake, you're not special. And then Michaela commented, you a douche. All right. You're entitled to your opinion. Liv, just anything related to animal abuse or mistreating your pet, but that comes with my job. Also, I hate when your pet is overweight and you think it's okay. Julia Spice Hegarty. People who think it's okay to take their pets into a store, especially when they have a, quote, certificate. So that kind of harkens back to what we were talking about a little bit ago. Brandy says slutty moms. All right. Jacob, the same Jacob from before, commenting his own thing now. My wife is allergic to weeds, so the smell in my apartment complex really pisses me off. DJ says that's a bummer just in general. Kelly says, yep, me too. Michael says, Jacob, my husband smokes it and I hate it. Kevin, is she allergic to the smell of the actual flower? Very important difference here. I thought he'd get stomped on for that a little bit more. Checking out while talking on the phone. Gotta tell you, that's a pet peeve of mine too. Come on, focus, people. I put the person on hold or call them back or whatever. You know what else irritates me? Not to get off on a tangent or anything. But the other day I was walking into a store and there was a girl walking ahead of me. We were in the parking lot. And so she's maybe, 6 feet away. And she had her phone on speakerphone while she was walking. She was talking to the other person. I don't know why. That just really rubbed me the wrong way. Because I don't really want to hear your whole conversation. I don't know why it makes a difference if I can only hear half. You can only hear one side of the conversation versus both. But for whatever reason, it annoys me. I mean, I don't get all Karen-y about it. I'm just saying. It just annoys me. People making noises when they eat rages the fuck out of me. Cool. I think these are more about pet peeves and making you Karen-y, but whatever. People have joint Facebook accounts, so when they have to sort of sign who commented it after, quote, your baby is so precious, Brenda, end quote. My parents used to have a joint Facebook thing, and my dad would always say, bye, John, at the beginning of every comment. But he was really the more vocal one on the Facebook account. It was just funny. Actually, I think it was really my stepmom's account, and my dad would just hijack it. Anyway, as of lately, people that complain about other people that have unemployment benefits, it's nobody's fault they're one of the millions of people that got laid off for reasons beyond their control. Everyone would most likely still be employed if it wasn't for the virus. Also, it ain't mine or your business how somebody else pays their bills. Mo, hey, valid comment, for real. But I think the thing that irritates a lot of people is more when those people on unemployment are bragging about the fact that they now make more money than they did with their job, while a lot of us are out busting our ass and potentially making less money than you are, not having to do anything. I'm just saying, just a comment. Litter bugs. All right, Billy. Fair comment. Okay, here we go. Parents who go off on school teachers and staff for something they know their kid did. Look, I think that's that's an entitlement thing in the world that we live in nowadays. I recall seeing a meme a while back on Facebook where it was a picture of, a parent and a teacher. me see if I got this right. A parent and a teacher back in like, maybe the 80s. And really where it's or maybe it was the parent yelling at their kid because the kid did something wrong, and then a picture of a parent yelling at a teacher in today because the kid did something wrong. And I do think that that's how it is. Especially, look, any of you in management out there, you may have experienced this, and I know I have many times, where a parent comes in and jumps up and down on you about you firing their kid or somehow holding them accountable, and it's like, your kid's the one that screwed up. I didn't do anything. Why are you yelling at me? First of all, I don't even want to be dealing with you because this isn't your job. It's your kid's job, but that's for another day. I did get pleasantly surprised not that long ago at my previous location where we had let a kid go because for whatever reason. It was justified. But I did have this sort of feeling that I might hear about it from the parents. And then one day, sure enough, I get a call over the radio. Hey, so-and-so's parents are out in the lounge they want to talk to you. And I'm like, shit, here we go. And it turned out they wanted to meet with me in my office, and they wanted to basically apologize for their child's behavior and performance. And I'm telling you, it was like the most refreshing thing ever. So pretty cool. People throwing trash in my yard. Yep, that would probably drive me crazy. People being rude to people with developmental disabilities / autism. Damn straight, that would set me off. Most of my Karen tendencies, this is Matt saying this, most of my Karen tendencies come from the way people drive, speeding, weaving through lanes, cutting people off. It's a good thing that I'm stuck in a car, otherwise it would probably be a viral video of me bitching at someone by now. Yeah, that's for me too, although I will say over the years I've learned to just calm down about it. I used to get really, really amped up, and now I'm just, whatever. I'll bitch about it a little bit, like if my wife's in the car, I'd be like, what is this fucker doing? That kind of stuff, but I'm done, being angry about it all the time. So, let's see. We're gonna move on to a different one, shall we? I wish I could show some of the videos. Someday I'll figure out how to do that kind of stuff. Oh, my lunch is here. We'll see how much longer this podcast goes. Okay, so here's another sort of tipping one. So they post a picture of a receipt, and it's for, looks like 2 Chardonnays, $12 each, and then they didn't leave a tip, and it says, I'm a military spouse, it should be free next time, thank a military spouse. So before I dive into the comments on this, I'm just saying that if you feel entitled for any reason, and you feel like you've got to tell somebody something should be free, I just don't think it should be. But that's just my opinion. If somebody's going to thank someone for their service, they should do it voluntarily and willingly. I don't think that, and I don't know. I don't think anybody really deserves anything for free. First of all, you're the spouse. I appreciate your spouse's sacrifice for our country, but why do you need anything? But that, again, my opinion. So let's dive into the comments and see if anybody agrees with me. Stephanie says, excuse me, how does a wife serve more? They sit at home while their husbands fight. They do nothing to help. If anyone should get free shit, it should be the actual military. I'm inclined to agree with Stephanie a little bit on that. Again, it sucks because your husband or wife is away and putting their life in danger and things like that. But that's them doing that. I don't know. Nikki says scumbag, shaking my head. Somebody else posted a GIF of a guy giving what looks to be a constipated look. Christoph says 2 drinks of $12, which isn't cheap for a stupid drink, and they expect it free. Next thing, they'll be wanting to walk out of the supermarket with their groceries free of charge too. Toxic Karens. Let's see, Angela, trying to figure out how this works. She expects drinks for free, then goes home and bangs her. Oh, okay, we're going to move on. Priscilla, how many times is this going to be posted in this group? This may have been posted before. I don't know. Chrissy says, or she could sit her silly ass at home where it belongs if she's going to pretend to be anything of use in the military. Kevin Man, a lot of people think spouses are cheating. Kevin said, yes, cheating on your husband while he's in Afghanistan is such a difficult job. And then somebody posted a gif of, let's put some ice on that burn. Yeah, and then somebody, Kalila said, the entitlement case. I'm an Air Force brat and I deserve to fly an airplane with things that go boom on them. Cool. Holly, does she leave her home and risk her life to protect others? No? Okay then, shut the fuck up. Melissa says, no words, just insults and face palms. Yeah, okay, moving on. I don't know if you guys are enjoying this or not, but let me know. Feel free to go to my Facebook page or my Instagram, or just go to my website. Either way, always happy to hear from fans. Also, by the way, just as you know, while I'm looking through these, as an aside, I am always looking for good guests. So if you or anybody you know are in the service industry and would like to share some Karen stories, or even share what you love about what you do, because even though we deal with Karens from time to time, I think we're all still doing this because we love the job. I know that's why I am. For any of you who listen to a lot of these episodes, many of you have heard, people sharing their theater stories. But I'd even like to hear, if you're a server at a restaurant or you work in retail or anything like that, I'd love to hear your story and why you've done it for as long as maybe you have and what you love about it. So get in touch with me. I'm pretty easy to find. So you can go to my website, which is kiarpodcast.com, KIAR podcast.com, or just find me on Facebook. Just search for Karen Isn't Always Right. Instagram as well. We have 2 Instagram pages right now. We have a Kiar Podcast Instagram and then a Karen Isn't Always Right Instagram. So I do appreciate all of you who've been paying attention and listening and following. It's been pretty cool to see this growing. So very cool. Okay, so a lot of what I've seen is the mask stuff too. So here's Tanis. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but Tanis says, what the fuck is the big deal with wearing a mask? If they help, you keep people from dying. If they don't, boo-hoo, you had to wear a mask. Oh, but my freedom, my rights, they say in quotes. Do you wear your seatbelt? Then shut up. I have asthma and struggle to breathe through them, and I've had asthma attacks because of it. But, in all quotes, or all caps, I still wear it because people's lives are more important. A lot of comments on that, about 1,300 comments on that. This is obviously a very touchy subject, especially probably depending on where you are in the country too. It does seem to be very polarized depending on what political party you might be associated with. It does seem that conservatives lean more towards not wanting to wear a mask, and then liberals being more in line with wanting to wear a mask. So, and I'll tell you, again, as a manager of a movie theater that's going to be reopening in the near future, this gives me some anxiety a little bit, because I start worrying about, okay, are we going to have to deal with pushback, whether it's pushback on the masks or pushback on any of the protocols that might be in place for the other guests and safety and things like that. I don't particularly want to get yelled and screamed at by a Karen because they may or may not, I don't know what our policy is going to be yet, but they may or may not have to wear a mask, because one side, I'm hearing this all the time, one side is getting really amped up because they feel like they shouldn't have to have it forced upon them to wear a mask, and then you get the other side that's pissed off because people aren't wearing the mask. So it makes me a little nervous. I don't know about the rest of you. I'd love to hear from you about it. So if you have thoughts on it, please share. So let's dive into the comments on this real quick. We'll just do 1 or 2 more after this. And then I got to tell you, I'm hungry. I've been sitting in an online class for like 7 hours today. I'm doing this 6 Sigma yellow belt training. It was a little dry, good stuff. But after that, I wanted to do this episode, and then I gotta tell you, I need to eat, and then I have to go to the grocery store. Okay, so what do people have to say? Neffy, cool name Neffy. Neffy Tiki. I was staying home, and I was not sure about wearing one because the WHO aren't fully backing it. Like, they weren't saying you definitely need to. Now that I have to go out once a day and jab my sister, she's too pussy to do it herself. I don't know what that means. I'm wearing it. I don't want to put her or others at risk if I have it, but I do think the WHO and other government health officials need to bite the bullet and mandate it so shop workers don't have to try and enforce it. There you go. I guess that would be nice, as if it is mandated by the government. That's kind of an easy thing to just fall back on and be like, look, I don't know what to tell you. Governor's saying you have to do it. But yeah. Hey, as a quick aside, my wife and I got COVID, both the test and the antibody test. Came back negative on both. Would have liked to have had the antibodies, I'm just saying. Then I could just be like, whatever. Carrie says there's also a misconception that if enough people agree with you on the internet, that means you're right, and everybody gets to decide for themselves how many people is enough. Interesting viewpoint, Carrie. Chantel, haven't we all just grown accustomed to it now? It's just something we need to get over it. It's just something we need, like clothes. Get over it. Okay. Scotty, too bad I don't give a shit. It's population control, which is all I care about. Okay, Scotty. And then he adds in a sub-comment, bold of you to assume that I give a shit about your life or the lives of your crotch goblins. Literally, all you Karens know how to do is to bitch and cry. By the way, crotch goblin seems to be a common term on this page. I've heard a couple other interesting euphemisms as well. Lori comments on Scotty's comment, saying, Scotty, wow, you're just straight up told everyone you're garbage with no hesitation. I gotta tell you, that's kind of a harsh viewpoint, Scotty. And I do see that from time to time, where there's just people out there who don't give any fucks about other people. And I'm not saying, look, I'm not taking a stance one way or another on the mask thing, just reading these comments, but when people just straight up say they could give a fuck about other people, that bothers me a little bit. Brian says, you did not care to wear one when you were spreading the cold or flu virus, people, or when you ran to the store when you were sick the last few years to get yourself meds. Now that it's a virus with 99.96% survival rate, better than the flu or pneumonia, people want to freak out because the news on TV told you to. Even though that same news is continuously proven wrong and continuously proven a lie and over-exaggerating the truth in the facts about the coronavirus. If you think you need to wear a mask, if you think you need a mask in public, then wear one, but don't get butthurt because someone did the research and understands why they do not need to wear one in public. All right. And then someone posted the meme that's very popular of the Triggered. It's the Triggered meme. It's the girl with the kind of short haircut and the glasses, and she's just kind of wiggling back and forth. It's a funny meme or gif. Alexandria, spelled interestingly, just FYI, Alixandria. Anyway, Alexandria said, jokes on y'all, I don't wear my seatbelt. She does say that she wears a mask though. And then another picture of, I think that's Audrey Hepburn sticking her tongue out as a gif saying make me. Chris Luna posts a thing about cognitive dissonance. And then Chris also says, I don't know how to explain to you that you should care about other people. Well played, Chris. Bobby says, congrats, you've achieved Karen status. All right, so yeah, there's a mask one. So we'll do one more, and then I'll let you guys get going. And if you've listened this far, God bless you. Let me find a good one to end on, or I'll try. Sorry, bear with me. Well, I'm looking. Did anybody see? Not like anybody's going to answer me right now, but I did post on my Facebook page the video of the woman that was trying to go into the store and didn't have her mask, but there's a sign outside that clearly states the store policy, and there's a dude standing out there, he's cleaning carts and things like that, and he's got a mask on. He was a very vibrant personality, and this woman just started going off. She wanted to talk to the manager. I mean, it's a true definition of a Karen, and the manager's like, look, it's the store policy, I can't let you in unless you have a mask. And she was trying to say that she has a medical condition that's inhibiting her from wearing a mask. And he's like, well, and he goes, well, I could buy this stuff for you. Like, he's offering a solution. I could buy this stuff for you. She goes, well, I don't feel comfortable giving you my credit card because you could have my information. To which, a lot of people's responses already were, well, we're going to have your information anyway because at some point you're going to pay for this. And then on top of that, she was also saying, well, I don't want you to see what I'm going to buy. And from what I gathered and reading the comments and stuff in the article was that, it's a pretty normal retail store. It's nothing crazy. But she was like, it's an invasion of my privacy if you see everything that I'm going to buy. To again, which you're going to have to buy this stuff. Somebody's going to eventually see this stuff. It was a very strange thing, but I would encourage you to go to my page and check it out if you haven't seen it. I'm still looking. Okay, this one I think was interesting. So I'm 100% Karen. This is Clint. I call the cops when there are those crazy arguments outside my place, only those that have weapons involved, which I don't know how you would know, but whatever. I let management know about all the drug deals that happen every 10 seconds. When we all got our stimulus check, that was a super bad time. I'm kind of wondering where Clint lives. I only do this because I'm a single mom. I don't give a fuck what you think about me. You do dangerous drugs around me or my kid, and I know about it. You're going down. Sorry, not sorry. Again, I just kind of wonder what neighborhood this Clint person's living in. So let's check out some comments real quick. Got quite the beard for a mom. Yeah, I thought so. Nobody cares yet. Ooh, I'm not reading that. I hate cops, but honestly, I don't blame you at all. Your child is your biggest responsibility. A lady posted this. See, that's what I thought. I could swear someone else posted this exact same thing recently. Different person. But a lady posted this in here like a week or two ago. CJ says, sounds like you live in the ghetto. Also, Sherman underneath that said, sounds like you're oblivious to the rampant drug abuse that goes on in your city. Yeah, moving on. This was already posted. Fake Karen rep. Yeah, this one was fake. Sorry to end on a bad note, guys. But I'll do better next time. That being said, if you like this episode, I won't do these all the time. We'll stick to a normal format most of the time. But I don't know, something I wanted to try. So if you like it, please let me know. If you think it's stupid, I want to hear that too. So hit me up. You know where to find me. With that, I say goodbye. Take care. That's the podcast, folks. If you're a fan of Karen Isn't Always Right, you can show your support in two ways. First, please share with your friends and get them listening. Also, please feel free to donate by going to anchor.fm/Chris-Fry, that's Frey, /support. Please visit KIARpodcast.com, KIAR podcast.com, and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. New episodes are posted weekly on KIARpodcast.com, Anchor.fm, Spotify, Apple, and pretty much wherever you can listen to a podcast. The views and opinions on this podcast are solely that of the guest and the host and are not representative of any organizations or individuals. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.